Hey folks, Brian here. At Gen Con, I was able to pick up, as I've said somewhere before, right? The Lightbringers and the Earth Goddesses books from Chaosium for RuneQuest, Roleplaying and Glorantha, right? And um, it is my intent to do a GM type review. Um, and I'll be starting out with the Earth Goddesses. I've actually read through all of this. I got slowed down. Something happened with August, right? It just disappeared and I started class. So I've been pretty short on time for extraneous activities like YouTube videos. I I got one video out on RPG a day that covered the first 13 days of it, and I meant to do the second column and then the third column, but next thing I knew, it's September 1st. So I'm going to try to get to that later as well. But anyway, so Earth Goddesses, right? Um, Where the Earth Goddesses are dominant, matriarchal kinship and even matriarchal societies are common. Good to know. Even in areas where the Earth Goddess is not dominant, the idea of a supreme goddess is influential in many cultures. Great world building information to know. And ties in with my whole, in my head, Bronze Age type communal society, right? Anyway, so there's lots of other stuff in here, right? Now, where'd the world come from? What happens when we die? How do I do magic, all that stuff? I'm not going to worry about that. Um, there's just one piece on who are the other gods, though. I'll touch on really quick. From the Earth Goddess's viewpoint, the sky gods are benevolent protectors. The storm gods are unreliable but passionate. The sea gods are mostly distant but powerful. The goddess, the darkness gods are frightening negative forces. The lunar gods are creative and destructive, and their philosophies are parallel with the earth powers. The chaos gods, there's an instinctive fear of oblivion that prompts all natural beings to hate chaos. Um, Humanists, not sure exactly what they're talking about here, but they're amusing and empathetic. Okay, Earth Pantheon. We get everybody who's listed in the Earth Pantheon. Not going to touch it here. Okay. Oh, genealogy of the Earth deities. There's the site. There we go. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Ernalda. There's that mythos and history piece, right? The before time, since time began, other world home, life after death, runic associations, yeah, iconography. Um, Great world building knowledge kind of stuff. Not going to touch it here. Some generic things though. The nature of the cult. Her worship is of vast importance everywhere, widespread throughout all of Glorantha. Okay. Shrines to Ernalda always teach blessed crops. This was something I was dealing with when I first put my game together. Okay, when you learn spells from shrines, is this a god talker or a priest who's guiding the shrine who's actually teaching you this, or is this the deity through the shrine teaching you this? And my first take on it was it's the shrine. You are in a holy place. You can learn this spell here, right? But then that begs the question of, okay, do different shrines have different spells? Yeah, they would. But for example, if you're shrines to a beast of gore, if you're a worshiper of beast of gore and you go into and you've only got a shrine in the area, what do you want to have that shrine teach? Right? Berserk or Axe Trance or something like that, right? So, but everybody, not everybody, the majority of beast of gore are going to be thinking the same sort of thing. So, do all of these, or a vast majority of these shrines, all teach the same spell? I'm kind of thinking so. If you want variety, you need to go to a temple or something. Anyway, okay. Center of power, holy places. Isrolia, obviously, the greatest stronghold of the cult and the site of its greatest temple. That huge complex down there, right? The Shaker Temple, this is new. I did not know this, rather. The Shaker Temple is the largest Earth Temple complex in Dragon Pass. Good to know. Okay, Clay Day for Ernalda is a weekly holy day. Knew that from the Blue Book. No way affected the Blue Book. That's the only cult that is listed as having a weekly holy day. That's a power grab, right? Um, but we also list here that the high holy day is the entire week of fertility week during Earth season. This is also the harvest festival. Do you get to make worship rolls every day of the week? That's a lot of room magic being thrown around if you're playing those kinds of games. Okay, so uh, lay membership. In most farming communities where Ernalda is worshipped, it can be assumed that all people are lay members of this cult. And this is something that ever since I began with RQG and the whole social organization is the fact that Ernalda is the power base here, period. You know, everybody is going to be associated with this cult in one shape or form or another, right? At the very least, all the leadership and adults are going to be lay members of this cult. But under requirements for initiation, I have a question mark here, right? It says if an individual is not currently an initiate of a non associated cult, double negatives, right? So if you are an initiate of a non associated cult, you cannot become an initiate of Ernalda. That's kind of restrictive. Although, when we talk about associated cults, we also have the husband protectors. That's a huge span, right? That's kind of interesting thought. Oh, I'm taking it back. That's not exactly what it says. If your mother, I had to reread this again because it's been a while since I went through this. If your mother's an initiate of Ernalda and you are not an associate with a non-associate, not, and you are not an initiate of a non-associated cult, rewind that. If your mother is an initiate of Ernalda and you are an initiate no more than an initiate of an non-associated cult, is that right? Then you can join for free. I think that's what it's saying. Otherwise, you have to pass the test. Okay, so that's not quite as bad as I was just thinking a second ago, right? Okay, requirements to belong. An initiate must give a seventh of their time, harvest, and earnings to the priestess. Initiates may not become sorcerers. Good, solid statement there. And apparently that came up in some forum about Orlanth, because Orlanth, his tribe does not say those words, which seems to imply that if you're an initiate of Orlanth, you can in fact become a sorcerer. You can in fact become a shaman, because it does not say you cannot. But then there's this whole, does that say in the Blue Book anything about not being shamans or sorcerers if you're an initiate of a cult kind of thing? And maybe something in there. But in a way, it does kind of make sense because Orlanth is it's associated with Lankermai, and Lankermai is the only real source of sorcerers here in Dragon Pass, right? So you can be an initiate of both cults. Yeah. But what about this whole shaman thing? I've heard the word Kolat thrown out. I don't know what that means. Um, and my take is everybody does ancestor worship, and that's at the venue of Dakafal. So that's how I've been dealing with it. But anyway, initiates may not become sorcerers, and initiates may worship no chaos thing. I think what they mean is may not worship a chaos thing. Again, these negatives. Okay, so if you are initiative Ronaldo, you're automatically initiate with the grain goddess for your local area. No additional actions, no additional sacrifices. Okay, so if you're an initiate, you're under the protection of Ronaldo's local husband, protector, right? And the local priests will cast blessed crops on your lands. Great things. Okay, skills. You get free training and a bunch of skills. Standard sort of stuff, right? Spirit magic, you get at half price a bunch of the spirit magic kind of stuff. And again, another sort of standard thing, every 5 years you get a point for free. Rune spells. This is kind of interesting. With the rune spells, they go into some detail, right? And this is consistent through all the cults I've read so far. In addition, in return, In return for exceptional service, donating the equivalent to 100 lunars per spell or spell point. I think it should be spell point. Or for furthering the cult's goals or and standing in the community, right? An initiate can learn a special rune spell. It's no longer just sacrifice the point of power. Getting with the priest, point of power, you get the spell. No, you've got to do something to rate this interaction, which kind of a pain, but I do like. Okay, a wise woman. These are the God Talkers. They lead worship ceremonies, and this ties in directly to an issue I had with my campaign fairly recently, right? Can initiates run worship services to regain rune points? It takes a God Talker to lead worship services if you're an Alden. Right there. Now, do you have to have somebody lead worship service in order to do worship skill? Probably not, but do you need somebody to lead the worship ceremony in order for you to regain rune points? I'm kind of thinking you do. My opinion. Okay, anyway. Wise women spend a week, every 1 week in 8, that's once a season, right? For the cult. They give 50% of their income. They are not financially supported by the temple except for room and board. More do you need? So they can support themselves otherwise through occupation and spell teaching. Okay. Earth priestesses must be initiated for 5 years, must have given birth to at least one healthy child. That sounds real familiar. Now, the priestess must provide for the welfare of their community, right? They're subject to the commands of local husband deity priests, right? And lords, right? In return, the priestess may call upon those local husband deity worshippers for protection for herself and the community as well, right? This is something newish, right? New in the cults I've seen, but not new to RuneQuest, right? This is not a fighting cult. Priestesses do not maintain their fighting skills beyond Dex times 5 ability. That was in the original RQ2. And it wasn't just fighting skills, remember, it was like manipulation skills, right? All combat kinds of things because you're not, keeping up on that stuff. Okay, mundane benefits. Okay, automatically priestess of the green god. It's just like initiates are automatic initiates there as well, right? And you can call on aid of other earth cultists, right? Moran Gore, Beast of Gore, Ezreal, that kind of thing. Okay, and if you're an earth priestess, um, you can learn enchantments. This is where I remember the blue book not being very clear on that. You have to be a priestess to learn an enchantment. Initiates don't have access to that. Here also wise women can access that. Okay. Subservient cults. You have cult spirits, right? And it talks about all the different kinds of things: nature spirits, plant spirits, animals, nymphs, agriculture, pigs, household guardians, all kinds of spirits that are subservient to this cult. There's also a piece about how the Earth Mother is also served by unusual cult spirits, such as the Jolly Fat Man or the Big Man. Spirits of reprisal. If you offend or injure Ernalda or her cult, she denies you her gifts. You are punished by her husband's cult, and extremely vile foes will be hunted down by Beast to Go Avengers. Okay, another one of these spirit things is Inta. A subcult worshipped by midwives. They provide the birthing spell. So this is where we're getting to associated things, right, in spells, right? Faranar gives you no lineage. The rain goddesses, little spiel on them about how they're closely connected on all levels with the Ernalda cult. Even though they're different, they're mechanically identical. Each grain goddess is associated with a specific grain or legume. And when the grain goddess blessed crop spell is cast, it gets a plus 10 bonus on top of the normal modifier. The Jolly Fat Man gives Seal Soul one use. Nandin provides pregnancy spell. Sokavari provides Ernalda with the spirit spell of Glorantha and free training in sing and dance. Aldria. Okay, now we're into actual associated cults. Aldria provides accelerated growth. Azriela provides hide wealth. Babista Gore provides earth shield. Barntar provides plow. Calandra and Aurelian provide their mighty sister with fertilize. Shalna Roy gives healing trance. Thor provides calm waters. Aritha gives bless animals. Yata provides gnome to gargoyle. Hippoi provides speak with horse. Hylor provides command horse. Mayhem gives the spirit magic ignite for free to all Ernaldan initiates. Morangor provides blast earth. Min Lister provides the craft brewing skill and the brew spell. BREW, not BROO. Okay, the three bean circus provides peace, the spell peace, but only two high priestesses. Tai Cora Tech provides the bless grave spell and also teaches to prepare corpse skill at half price to all members of the Ernalda cult. Vore provides the spells flowers. Okay, another group of spirit type entities that support Ernalda, the husband protectors, right? So the local husband gives rune spell as protection to Ernalda cultists, right? In most places, the Temple of Ernalda is associated with only one of the following deities. Most commonly, it's Orlanth, and that goes back to this whole thing about Orlanth and Ernalda, you know, king and queen stuff, and the fact that everybody worships them both, right? In Isrolia, all of the following husband deities are present except for Pamal, because he's in the south, right? So Angun Argar is only worshipped in Isrolia. He provides great shadow. Flamal, primordially worshipped among the elves and horticulturists, provides bare fruit. Lodril provides fire, earth warm. Magasta provides Isrolian in some island cultures with breathe water air. Orlanth, universally worshipped, right, with Ernalda as her husband. Even among those who don't worship Orlanth. He is the primary husband deity in Dragon Pass. And most of Ralios and Mineria, I'm not sure where that is. And as well as Upland, Fernella, and Peloria. Okay, Ernalda the cultists receive Cloud Call from Orlanth Thunderous and Shield from Orlanth Adventurous. And this will tie in later on getting the Lightbringers about a greater separation of the two. Palmalt, just for Multians, Gnome the Gargoyle. Stormbull is a husband in Isrolia. And by the rare Ernaldan worshippers in the wastes. Impede Chaos is the spell he gives. Yelm is the primary husband protector of the Graysland pony breeders here in Dragon Pass. He provides Cloud Cure. Yamalio is a minority of tribes in Dragon Pass. In the South Pelorian Hills, worship Yamalio as the husband protector. He provides Cat's Eye. Okay, miscellaneous notes. So stuff here on Isrola, on Caro Finn. Some more spells being available. Snakes. Harming a snake, even a poisonous one, is taboo for cult members. Dara Harpa, the goddess Dendara, has replaced Ernalda. And there's a greater tendency among the people there to worship the grain goddesses for that location alone. Because of the whole Ernalda Dendara thing, right? Okay, marriage contest. This is kind of cool, right? The Ernalda cult is often responsible or asserts responsibility for arranging marriages between its members and suitable followers of the husband deities. They hold contests and match participants' prowess in combat, athletics, social skills, and magic. These things will last a week, often combined with the high holy day ceremonies, in which case the winner becomes the year husband of the participant. I think participant is used incorrectly here. But anyway, the community gains blessings from these magical allies, right? So many earth priestesses prefer to choose their consorts in this manner, and these things are huge. They're of regional importance, right? Temple children, kind of a given when you read through some of these cults from the Blue Book. Gestation period, I was right about this. The typical gestation period for a human female is approximately 1 gloranthan year. And I was trying to figure that out at one point in my game, and I was kind of going, it looks like it's about a year. Let's just do a year. Ta-da! And that is the Ernaldan cult GM review of the Ernaldan cult from the Cults of RuneQuest, the Earth Goddesses. Happy gaming.